Okay, yeah, let's get started. So thank you guys for joining us. This is our live webinar for the mobile app that was fairly just released pretty recently. And it's available to all cloud users now. We're going to get right into it. I have a couple of slides just to go through, and then we are going to actually see my phone on the screen, a live demo. But yeah, in this webinar, we're just going to talk about, first of all, who has access and log into the app, what the app can and can't do, some future enhancements that we're chatting about internally, and then, like I said, a live demo. I believe you guys are muted, so I don't think I can unmute you, and I don't think you can unmute yourself. So use that chat room. I want to see people actually chatting their questions, comments, suggestions. We're doing this for you guys. We want to hear from you. And that's what's going to make this even better. So this is the first phase of the mobile app. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk about what we're going to see in the app and how to access it and all that good stuff. All right. So first of all, who has access? You guys should have seen in my email, but if you missed it, as of right now, only those who are cloud users, so on our cloud setup, can access this mobile app from their mobile devices. We can talk further. So if you guys are interested, if you are currently on this webinar and you are on-prem, meaning that your database is hosted on your server in-house, we can talk about your options. We want to talk to you about it. This is definitely the way that the industry is going, being in the cloud. And we are offering a user special for the cloud platform. So reach out to us, me directly or support. Let us know if you're interested in hearing about how you can migrate, because again, the only way to gain access to this mobile app right now is to be on our cloud setup, okay? So to access it, if you are on the cloud, you can download it and in the middle of my screen, showing you kind of what the app will look like. And then once you download the app to your mobile device, you will have to put in a connection string, okay? We did send out an email fairly recently to all users, letting you guys know what your connection string is. But if you somehow missed that email, then get with your admin first and find out if they have your connection string. More than likely they should. So your internal admins, who kind of is your key players in the office, and they should have that. Otherwise, reach out to us, again, to me directly or the staff. We should be able to give you that access to get your connection string. It is case sensitive. We are getting a lot of phone calls about issues putting in that connection string. It is case sensitive, so make sure you pay attention to that when we do send you over your connection string. You will sign in using your regular desktop credentials. Okay, so just sign in there and it'll get you in. Once you sign in, the next time that you go to sign in, it'll remember your credentials, so you don't have to sign in every single time. And it'll remember your connection string as well. So you shouldn't have to put that in each time. Okay. Again, if you have any questions about anything, chat those in. Feel free to use the chat room. I want to see you guys really using that. Again, this is for you guys, so we want to hear from you. We will get to those. I'm not going to answer those questions right away, but we will leave some time to answer those questions at the end of this webinar. All right, viewed in the app. Just kind of note, that the main objection for us at first anyway, like I said, this is kind of the first phase of the mobile app. We kind of wanted to focus on field use. What is it that you guys need to access in the field? So when it comes to field access, we're mostly talking, operations staff, installers, and whatnot, project managers. But we do want to put some things in there that we feel like salespeople are going to want to access on the go as well. You guys are out there in the field, on site, touching in with your customers and whatnot. So things that you would need to access. So like companies, just opening up a company, opening up a contact or a project to access documents or notes in the field, drawings, opening up punch list documentation, things like that. So any documents or notes that are in the projects, you'll be able to access those. Like I said, some of the things that we want sales to be able to access as well, such as sales leads. That's something that you can access at this time. We're going to talk about what you can't do, but again, the main objection is to to look at what you would need to look at in the field. So just viewing a lot of things, right? And then we're going to take it a step further and talk about what kind of actions you can do in the app as well. You can access follow-ups on those sales leads as well. So when you're in the field and you need to, check out what it is that you need to do on a specific lead, you'll be able to do that. You'll also be able to see alerts. We'll talk about those alerts in a little bit more depth in a little bit, but alerts fit by users. If you're unfamiliar with the notes alerts feature inside of e-manage, you can add notes to a project. Obviously, you'll be able to access those. But you can also see alerts sent by users. So in that note alerts feature of e-manage, if you're unfamiliar, definitely reach out to us if you want to hear more about this. But you can actually submit an alert. It's basically an internal, chat or notification that you want to send to an internal user. Those will be able to be accessed in the app at this time. Also, automated alerts. So things like when your projects go on hold or your jobs go on hold, things like that. Any automated alerts. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit more depth in a little bit. You can also access your personal calendar as long as you're synced up. So your Outlook calendar, if you're synced up in the desktop application, you'll also be able to access that in the app. So see your appointments and whatnot. Yeah, personal appointments or business appointments that you have on your Outlook calendar. You'll also be able to access the installation calendar. We'll talk a lot about that today as well, in which you can access digital work orders. So seeing all that paperwork that we're seeing, printed out for a work order, we've basically put that all into the app. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit more depth. You can also view your punch list and hot jobs. Okay, so things that are on fire, you need to tend to, quickly and stay on top of those. You'll be able to access those as well. Again, we're going to actually get into the app in just a little bit. So if you just joined us, welcome. We are going to actually see the app today, but just to kind of overview what can and can't be done. Unfortunately, there are going to be some things that you can't do at this time. Right now, you cannot, and I'm not sure that we'll ever be able to access the bill of materials. There's just so much, as you guys probably already know, when it comes to quoting, there's a lot of moving parts, and that is just not going to be in the app at this time, at least. And then the other modules, right? Processing orders. There's a lot of stuff that you just have to be in the desktop application to do. It's more involved and complicated than just being able to get on your phone and process an order. There's more checks involved and things like that. So some of those things we're not going to be able to do. At this time, we're not accessing the time clock, but we'll talk about that future plan in just a little bit. And then some of these other things, again, we'll talk about future plans for the app. But right now, you cannot get alerts from action items. So when your action item is completed or rejected, you're not going to be able to view those in the app at this time. You also cannot submit an action item, and you're not going to be able to actually view your actions to perform. Okay. So some things that I feel like some people have sent in to us that they do want to see in the app. And I just want to kind of note those big topics that are coming through that you're not going to be able to do at this time. With that being said, got a lot of future enhancements on the list. This is just to touch the surface. As I stated previously, we are going to be rolling this out in phases. So this is kind of the first phase. And again, just wanting you guys to be able to view some things from the field, have access to it remotely. Some of the things that we know that you're going to want to access, and we'll see those shortly. But in the future, we are going to it's just going to keep getting better and better, hopefully. We've got a lot of big plans for it. So one of the big things is action items. The ability to submit an action item from the field, I think, will be very beneficial to be able to view the action items and the alerts coming in from the action items. So we are planning to put that into the mobile app. We're also really going to, we want to focus on surveys as well. If you're unfamiliar with surveys, again, reach out to us. These are features that if you're not using now, I think that they're going to be huge to use when they do come out in the mobile app, even that much more accessible and user friendly. Surveys are basically like a list of questions and answers. You can see a little screenshot of the desktop app to the right here. And it's gathering information, right? And sometimes that information is going to be coming from the field, site surveys. Are we going to have elevator access? Is there a stair carry? These things that we need to make sure that we're, that information that we're gathering from the field. So we want to be able to build that survey into the mobile app so that you can just have an installer pull up a project, access the survey module, answer the questions that we need answered in order to put together, thorough quotes and things like that. So we are looking to put the surveys in there. What else? Automated notifications. This is going to be huge as well. This is going to take a bit more time, but you're going to see it in a little bit when we get into the app. I'm going to show you guys the digital work order. And from that, we want to see some automation taking place, right? When the customer signs off, wouldn't it be so awesome to have your work orders complete type notification automatically sent to the customer, your primary contact on the project. So definitely some cool automation things that we're working on. Punch list completion, when the punch list actually gets completed, notifying maybe in-house and external contacts as well. And then just some general, just automated push notifications when certain things are being done in the app. We'd like to just see some more notifications taking place. What else? Sales dashboards. That's one thing that kind of came in from an existing customer. Not sure where that's going to be on priority. Again, we want to hear from you guys. So all these topics that I'm talking about, chat it in, email me directly, email support. What do you think is priority for the next project in the mobile app? We want to hear from you guys. We're building this for you. So what is it that you want to see in the mobile app? If it's not on this list, send it in, chat it in. Let us know what you feel like is priority or what cool feature you'd like to see in the mobile app. What is it that you need to do in the field when you're away from your desktop application? And sales dashboards is one of those that came up. Being able to just, when I'm at home and, after dinner with my family and I want to kind of see, planning for tomorrow, what are my numbers at? What big projects am I going to focus on? What are my bookings? What are my sales goals and how close am I to them? Being able to log into the mobile app and see some visual metrics is an idea that came in, and we like it, and we're gonna put it in there. So salespeople, installers, operations, anybody else who's going to be accessing this mobile app, let us know what it is that you want to see. Another one that's come up is uploading images offline. So you're in a government building and you're trying to upload a punch list image or a progress image of how it's going on site, and you don't have Wi-Fi connection. We're looking to be able to go through the process of uploading it, but then it kind of just sits in the background and uploads when you get back online. So that's something we are looking at. We also are going to add the receiving module into the mobile app so that your warehouse crew can just take their iPad out there or their tablet or phone and receive the product straight from their phone rather than going back to their desktop application, doing it on the fly or on the go. Time clock, another huge one. I think that one's a big priority, but again, let us know what you guys think. We want to hear from you. I feel like time clock could be a big game changer as far as accessing it from the mobile app. Of course, there's going to be, some learning curves here and some training initiatives that are going to have to take place to really, get this going. But the idea of being able to have your supervisors or your lead installers access the mobile app while they're on site and just punch the time clock. And now we don't have to return that paperwork back to the office and have someone enter that time into the system. So definitely going to be one of our top priorities. And then lastly, again, there's a lot of other stuff on here, but these are the big ones that are on the top of our minds right now. Last, the subcontractor portal. Again, we want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you think the time clock, chat it in. Do you think the time clock is more important than the subcontractor portal? Do you think the subcontractor portal is more important? based off of your business, and obviously the higher vote's going to win, or any of these other items that you're seeing on this slide. What do you feel like is the highest priority? We want to hear from you. But the subcontractor portal will be pretty cool. We're going to basically still some things to work through, of course, on our end, but I don't want to give too much information because it's still in the works. But essentially what it's going to give you guys access to do is grant access to maybe someone that you have a relationship with subcontractor wise, and allow them to get into the what we only what we want them to get into, right? So they're not going to have access to everything. It's going to be a pretty straightforward, simple couple of things that they're going to be able to access, like the install calendar and accessing those digital work orders. But we only want them to see their own, so what jobs they're on. So it's going to force you to use some of the features a little bit different in the desktop application when you're scheduling things onto the calendar, adding, if you're not already adding those, add that subcontractor on, and then we'll give them access to get in there and view that digital work order, get that digital sign off. Again, we're going to see these things in just a little bit on the actual mobile app. But then also, documents, accessing certain, installation documents, only their projects and certain parts of the project. So again, still working through some of the logistics there, but definitely something we're really excited about. So let us know what you guys think about these feature enhancements, what you want to see. Start getting into the mobile app and using it. Even if it's letting your lead installers or supervisors access it from the field, start getting a feel for it and get feedback from them. What is items? What is it? We got a good amount of feedback from some of our existing dealers that we put on the app previous to rolling it out, but we want to hear from the rest of you guys. Cool. That kind of just gives you a little bit insight there, what we're working on, what's already there, what you can't do. But I'm going to switch over to my phone now. Give me just a moment. Figure that out. Okay, sorry. Give me a moment. I did practice this, I promise. All right. Tell me if you guys can see my phone. Somebody chat in. You can see my phone and my pretty family. Perfect. Okay. All right, so here's the mobile app. This is kind of what it looks like down there in that middle section of my screen with the big E. So lines up with our logo, of course. So once you get it downloaded, you'll just click on that logo. Again, like I said before, if you've already signed in and put your connection string in, you're going to be able to just jump right into it rather than logging in each time. Unless you click the hamburger menu in the top left corner and you click log out there at the bottom. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let's just talk about some of the things that you can view here first. So like I said, customers, vendors, so your companies, you're going to be able to view that. So you see at the top there, those 4 tiles, it does slide over, and that's where you can see your appointments. Okay, so your personal calendar is what we're calling appointments there. Okay, but in the first 4 tiles, the ones that you're going to be accessing probably more frequently are definitely the 4 tiles at the very top. So companies, I can just click on that tile in the top right corner, and I can start typing any company name that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to start typing bank, and it'll start to narrow down your results. Okay, you can click done at the bottom right to remove your keyboard from the bottom. Otherwise, it just narrowed down all my results to Bank of Texas. So when I click on one of these here, it'll load it up. And some cool features about the, accessing companies, the addresses. So as you see at the top there. If you do have a company logo set to that that company there, you'll see their logo at the top, which is just kind of a nice little touch there. But then right underneath that, you see their address. You can actually click on that map, and it'll take you to Google Maps, and you can click directions and continue, and it'll give you directions to that location. Another cool feature there. Let me get back to the app. And if I click done in the top left corner, it'll just flip me back to the e-manage app. What else? You can actually click on some of these links. So like your phone number. So you see next to the phone number there, there's a little phone symbol right there in the middle screen there. If you click on that, it'll allow you to call them directly from the app. You can also text message them using the little green text bubble. Not a whole lot of changes that you can make in the app right now. So you can see a lot of it's grayed out. Okay, I can't really make a whole lot of adjustments in the app at this time. It's mostly for viewing access. Again, we're focusing on the field. So ideally the project's already entered, the company, the contacts, and we're just viewing this stuff and needing to call people or email people straight from this window here. From the companies, you can access projects connected to that company, documents connected to that company, contacts connected to that company, and any notes. So some of those high-level records that we're seeing in the desktop applications. You can also view, so I'm hitting the back button in the top left corner to just go back to the home screen. Not the hamburger screen, sorry about that. And then it'll take you back to that home screen that we're seeing. So you can also do the same thing. You can access contacts rather than going to companies, and I can just start searching for a contact name. It'll narrow down my results. I can click on that contact record and do some of the same things that we're seeing in the company records. You can still hit that maps link, and it'll give you directions there. On this one, you can email people straight from the app window. So you see the little blue envelope next to that work email. You can actually email somebody straight from here. You can also do the same thing with calling and whatnot that you were seeing in the company window. And a little bit about their contact information, so titles and things like that. You can also see if there are any lead records for that contact. You can see any projects connected to that contact, documents, and notes. Okay. Just hitting the back button in the top left corner to go. Sorry about that. Give it a moment to load. I probably have a lot of projects, so I should have probably started narrowing down. You can always click right in the top and start narrowing down your results right there. You can also click on anywhere that you see these little lines that look like it's going from big to small, narrowing down your results. That's a filter icon. So you can click on that filter and say, you know what, show me only certain type of projects. I believe that's going to be on any of the searches. So when we saw the companies and contacts, same concept there. So you can click on one of these projects, and you're going to see the initial project information, basic information, right, that we might need to access. Okay. Again, the maps link is there so that you can just get directions straight to that location. That's going to be pretty big for the installers, I think, or the field crew. And we can see some basic information, right? Same thing as all the other ones. We can see contacts, documents, notes. With projects, we can see if there are any punch list items, which we'll talk about in a little bit more depth in just a moment. You can see punch lists connected to those projects. And if you click on installations, you'll see if it's on the calendar, and you can go straight to the work order information from this window. So for some reason, let's say you're in the field and you've got, job A, B, C, and your scheduler calls you and says, hey, can you swing by D? And it's not on the calendar just yet. You can open up that. All right. So that kind of gives you the idea of what you can see on that top area as far as viewing. We're going to get into installations in just a few moments. Again, the appointments, swipe over, and you can see those appointments there. It will hold your last 3 touched items. So you can see in the recents area there in the middle section, I've opened up the project, I've opened up a company, I've opened up a contact. So it's only going to show your last 3 that you've touched in the mobile app right now. You can also add favorites. So if there's a project or a contact that you're working heavily with, you can add those favorites. And to do so, to be able to do that, again, it's at the project or contact level, or even company level, customer, vendor level. In the top right, you see that star there instead of the X. The star is what will add it to your favorites. So for quick access, right? I've been hitting the back button a lot. You'll see the X in the top right corner of some windows as well, which will just take you right back to the home screen. So pretty cool to be able to access favorites down there. So that's, oh, got someone coming in. A little late there. All right, in the top left corner, in the top left corner, you'll see the hamburger menu, and it'll tell you that you can view your alerts that we talked about. So again, those alerts are not going to be action item alerts at this time. So they're more of the automated alerts that take place. So if you invite somebody, if you add something to your personal or your Outlook calendar, or if you add it through e-manage actually, and you invite somebody through e-manage and something's accepted, that will show there that somebody accepted your invitation. You'll also see like the jobs on hold, those automated notifications that you'll see inside the desktop application as well. These are the only ones that can show up in the mobile app at this time. Again, we are going to enhance that to show action item alerts as well. And then as I mentioned previously, also the alerts that come in from your user, so internal notes, internal alerts sent from user to user will also show up here. So it's kind of like an internal messaging, if you will. You're also going to, so I just hit the back button, and that takes me back to my hamburger menu there. You'll also be able to access your leads, so sales leads. Here I can click on one of these leads. You're going to see some different little icons there. You see like the red alerting you like, hey, you need to get on this, call them, or do something. That means that there's no activity. So if you're familiar with leads in the desktop application, the fire symbol, it's the same concept here. It's just a different symbol here. So it's, hey, you need to get on this one. This one has no activity. Hop on this one and do something about it. Otherwise, you can click on these leads and it'll tell you if you have any follow-ups at the top, like when you need to follow up by and how long you have to follow up by. So it's approaching quicker. So again, going back, you can see that those are approaching a lot quicker. I have some follow-ups on those that I need to hop on. So that little orange wheel, you need to get some activity on that one. So for sorry about that. I can see that I'm kind of going in and out, so bear with me there. So you can click on some of these links just like you can in some of the other screens that we saw. So there's that maps in the middle. You can still do the emailing, phone, texting from these other areas of the windows. You can see your follow-ups and click on them. I'm sorry, you cannot click on them just yet, but that is something I think we're going to be able to do in the future. And any notes on that follow-up as well. So if you're familiar with the leads in the desktop version, these are all things that are added in the desktop version that you're going to be able to access here. With leads, you can hit the edit button in the top right, and there's a couple things you can edit. So I can't add a follow-up or a note, I don't think at this time, but it is something we do want to add. You can edit some lead information. So I'm going to show you in a minute. You can actually create leads at this time as well, but they do have to be an existing contact. Okay, so I'm clicking that lead, hitting follow-ups are loading. Yeah, you can't edit follow-ups or notes or anything like that just yet. You can make any adjustments to the lead. So some things that we think salespeople might want to do in the field, right? So keeping on the topic of leads before we go to punch list, hot jobs, and installations, I go back to contacts. So I'm just going to open up this contact here for my favorites. I can go to, sorry, bear with me. I'm sorry. In the, sorry about that. In the bottom right corner, so you're going to start to get familiar with where the buttons are and what you can do here. But in the bottom right corner, sometimes you might see a plus sign or any other type of action. So you see that little page in the bottom right corner. If you click on that, it'll allow you to create a lead from that contact. Again, the contact does have to be existing this time. All right. So move. I go back to punch list, hot jobs here. These are everything that you've marked as a punch. We're going to talk a little bit more in detail about some of the automated things that we put into the app to make punch lists go hopefully a little bit smoother. That's definitely a pain point, communication from field to the office staff. So building some of this stuff in to the app is definitely one of our main focuses. But from the hot, just being able to wrap your arms around anything that's hot, right? And hot to us is our best practices. Those should only be your punch list projects, right? So if you're not using that area of the program, definitely check that out in the help guide or reach out to us if you want some more details. But yeah, wrap your arms around these items that need attention, right? So if I click on this item, it's going to take me to the project, but then I can click on punch list at the top and I can actually view that punch list. So I can see here there was some concealed damage, who created it, when they created it. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in just a moment. So just being able to view those punches from the field, I think that you're going to be doing that mostly. I think that's going to be a big task by your field team, your installers, lead installers, supervisors. And so I'm going to show you where to access that from the actual install calendar, because that's where we're really going to be. Just some items that we built into that you can kind of just view from the app. We're just going to continue to keep adding on to it. So let us know what you want to see added to the app. What is it that you want to do from the field? All right, so that leads me to installation. So I'm going to click on the installation tile in the top area there. And it's going to take me to my install calendar. So everything that's been scheduled, what's going on today, tomorrow, yesterday. Okay, so you can just kind of scroll through, or you can use this at the top and click on a date to get right to it. But it's always going to take you straight to today by default. From here, I can click on the item and it will give me a little bit of more information. If I have a note, I can just minimize and maximize that note just to get a quick preview of what that item is. You're going to see some of those labels that we add when we're doing scheduling, confirmed, what type is it, so your install type and your divisions. We're going to see those in the previewer, and the times, when the job starts and when it ends. But we're going to be able to click on that eye, the information symbol where it says details, just to the right of those color tiles that you're seeing there, confirm delivery with assembly. So I'm going to click just to the right of the details there. I'm sorry, click on the word details, just to the right of those tiles. And it'll actually open up your digital work order, your installation pocket. So what you're seeing here is obviously the project information. Again, there's that map so that they can just click on that straight from here. So I think this is going to be a big area where our field team is going to be accessing quite a bit. And they're going to be able to see their packets from the field. So from here, I can see the work order details. I can see some of those divisions and types. But I'm going to be able to flip through this and see exactly what I would see on my work order. But I can click on that contact and call that person. Hey, I'm at the front. Where are you at? Or, hey, I have a question about this. So they can click on these links and call these people or email them straight from their phone. We're going to be able to see who was assigned to that job. Can't really do anything with it just yet. We're going to be able to see subcontractors. Sorry, I didn't mean to click on that just yet. Subcontractors, so any other additional resources. And then your items to install. Okay, so the installation items from your work orders. You're going to be able to click on those and actually see where it's located. So if you received it into the system and did a bid, you can click on that and go grab it from RA3. or just know what I'm installing when I'm on site. And then we're going to be able to access documents as well. I think the idea here at some point, as far as the documents go, right now, I believe that you're able to see all your documents, but at some point, I think we're just going to let it show install only documents, but we've got to work through the logistics a little bit further there. But we can just click on these documents here and it'll just load up that document. Hit done and it'll just go back, tell you what kind of document it is and all that good stuff, document title. In most areas, like I said, anytime we see any searches in the top left corner, next to that search, you're going to see that filter. So if you click that filter, I can go straight to installation docs. This one doesn't have any, so you want to go back and clear the filter, hit the filter again and click all. So if there's something you want to narrow down your results based off of document type, that's something we're really comfortable and familiar with in the desktop app. You're going to be able to filter down. Or you can also just search, right? If I wanted to just, find a drawing, I can just start typing drawing. Okay. So you will be able to narrow down your results there. That brings me to punch list. This is a big thing. So we're on site, something went wrong, and we damaged something. Okay. Oh, I thought I had one on this. I don't. So I'll show you guys how to add a punch list from the mobile app. You can hit that little plus sign. Like I said, any actions that you're going to be able to take, a lot of times it's either going to be an edit pencil in the top right corner or something in the bottom right corner. So right now I'm going to hit that plus sign and you're going to see new punch list or progress picture. So you just want to kind of load up some pictures from your app into the project documents, show how the progress is going. You'll be able to do that. But you'll also be able, and it's pretty straightforward. I'll show it to you if you want to see it. But if you hit new punch list, that's a little bit more in depth. We're going to ask for a little bit more information. What happened, right? So broken, just type it in, damaged PED. Ooh. Damaged PED in Office 103. Okay. There's going to be some defaulted options here, but you can click on these and change your option. So it's open right now. It's not closed. But the idea is that again, some of those automated notifications, you're going to see in a moment, once we add a punch list, you'll be able to just check it off and it'll change the status from open to closed automatically. So it's open right now because I'm just now adding it, right? Is it an order issue or is it a job site issue? So did we damage it or was it concealed damage? Is it damage? Is it something missing? Is it a to-do? I need to just, I have a, maybe a punches. I just need to come back out and repair somebody's chair. So somebody just came up to me and asked me to do that. Maybe it was damaged, missing, or the wrong order. Something was completely ordered wrong. Root cause will default to unknown, but if we know what the root cause is, and all of these things you're going to be able to control in the admin application. Just like our drop downs in the desktop application, you're going to be able to load up whatever you want to load up in these drop downs. Okay, so if you want to see more fields to be able to choose from, the idea is we're going to be able to go back and assess this, right? Analyze it. How many of our punch lists are, designer issues? How many of it's manufacturer? How many is it? I don't know what happened. Same thing for reason, right? We want to be able to analyze what are the patterns, and so that we can make better business decisions going forward. And then you can even add locations. So again, I put it in the description, but if you want to be super specific and put it in a location there, you just add that there. When I click done, it'll allow me to add pictures. Okay, so I'll just click add picture at the bottom. And you can choose to do it from your camera or from your gallery. So if you already took the picture and you want to access your gallery, there's a picture there. Took some screenshots there, so sorry about that. All right. So that kind of gives you an idea on how to add punch lists. When some automated things that are going to take place with punch lists. When you do add a punch list item to the mobile app, not only is it going to automatically pick that project as a hot job or a punch list project in the desktop application, so that when I go in and I look at my punch list hot jobs report, it's going to show up there. Okay. So it's going to automatically pick it as a punch list. But then also, again, some of that automated things that we're talking about, it's going to automatically send a punch list action item. And so there's some configuration that has to take place in order to do that. So we're going to talk about where to find some of this information in the help guide at the end of this webinar. But you will be able to go in and make some adjustments, right? Set it up the way that you want to set it up. Who does that punch list action item need? Who does that even need to go to? So if you set it all up the right way, again, some automated things that are going to take place. It's going to trigger it to be a punch list hot job, and it's automatically going to send an action item for punch list. Alert somebody something went wrong and we need to take action. So what you're also seeing here is the checkboxes. So when I go out, and if this is my, again, let's go back to the installation calendar. And I click on that details. And I click punch list. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong one. That's why. Sorry about that. Unless I just totally mess something up here. Okay, bear with me. I'm on the wrong project. The idea is that they're going to be doing it from the calendar, right? They're going to be actually getting in and interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that. But ideally, they're going to be doing it from the installation calendar, right? Within the mobile app, they're going to pull up that work order. They're going to see, hey, see punch list notes, right? You need, or you know, your work order instructions will guide them of what needs to actually take place. But they'll be able to actually click on this punch list menu item at the top, and they'll say, okay, that one's done. So there's little check boxes here, and it just marks it out. Until everything's been completed, it stays on the punch list report inside the desktop app. Okay, so it'll be marked as a hot job, as a punch list, until everything has been taken care of. And you can click on these to see more details. Otherwise, you can just hit that checkbox and clear it out. I did find a little bug, I think. Going back to the calendar to wrap that up, so I can answer some of these questions I see coming in. You'll also be able to get a work order approval. So again, the idea is that we're going to try to go as paperless as possible in the near future. This is one of those documents that everybody is probably printing out right now. If we have everything here at their fingertips in the mobile app, they can also get that digital work order signature. At the very bottom there, you'll click Get Work Order Approval. They'll sign it. They'll type in their name, and then they'll hit Approve. We are working on some notifications, right? That's one of them. As soon as it gets approved, we want some type of notification back in the desktop app, but also to send out to your customer, send them a copy of that signed work order, right? So right now you can, give them a copy digitally from the desktop app. All right. Other than that, I think that covers most of the big things I wanted to talk about. To my computer momentarily, and then I'll answer some of these questions. Well, actually, let me answer some of these questions now so that you guys can, I need to show the screen. I got one coming in about time entry ETA. I do not have an ETA at this time. So we want to hear from you guys. I think there was a couple of comments that came in. Time clock is top of the list for us. If we're getting a lot of that, that's going to be the next thing that we do. So I've already said how I feel about it. I think time clock is absolutely the most important thing, but some dealers are coming to us and saying that the subcontractor portal is the most important thing. So we've got 2 new developers on staff at this time, and we're working through everything as fast as possible. So definitely let us know if you feel. Shoot me an email, put it in the chat. How do you feel about priority as far as those projects go? Time entry is most important to you. We're going to put it at the top of the list, and I would imagine that it'll be out in the next couple of months or so. All right. Someone said I was cutting in and out. Sorry about that. I am recording this session just as a heads up, and we will be posting this to our YouTube channel, so you can share or go back and watch if you need to. Hopefully it didn't cut out on the recording, but we shall see. Eric, sorry you don't have access to it yet. If you are Eric, you'll have to tell me what company you're with, and I can confirm if you're a cloud or on-prem user. If you're cloud, you have access to it. You got to go to the App Store, download it, and put in your connection string. There was an email that went out fairly recently with your connection string. It should have gone out to all cloud users already. So if you didn't get that, you're probably not a cloud user. Next question that came up, someone asked if you can filter leads by location, zip code. I don't believe by zip code, but if that's something that you want to see, absolutely. Yeah, so right now the filters right now are just based off of the type, the lead type. So not at this time. Next question coming in, do app punch pictures save in punch folder for desktop version? Yes, it will add it as a punch list document type. Okay. Even if you don't have that type in your current document type, your existing document types, I believe it still adds it as punch list. Something I didn't cover while we're on the topic of pictures, if I open up a project or I'm in that project installation item, we saw that progress picture. Inside of a project, you can also, it says upload project document. So if you have files saved to your actual mobile device, you can upload from files or again, upload from your gallery or from your camera. Something else I did not talk about, and I do want to note while we're talking about uploading images, and I want to note that if you upload a picture, it adds it as a gallery image document type automatically. And we're working on some automation there as well. If you're unfamiliar with the portfolios feature in eManage, this is something that we think that is going to get dealers using the portfolio feature a little bit more inside of the desktop application. But basically, I can upload progress images. It adds it as a gallery image. And what we're going to do is in the next release, actually, they're working on it right now, it's going to automatically tick it as a gallery image, which starts to build your project portfolio. And it's going to automatically add it as a portfolio item in the order entry screen. If you're unfamiliar with that, I'm going to point out some things in the help guide in just a little bit. And it's basically, I think that dealers can start using this for daily progress reports or just a cool feature that you could pull up in your app showing portfolio items. So if you're in the field and you did a really cool walls job and you want to pull up that portfolio and kind of show your client this is something that we did previously, you'll be able to open up your portfolio items and just open up those reports and show those images. So some cool automation things that we're working on as far as uploading pictures. But yes, to answer your question, the punch pictures save in the punch and the desktop version. Robin's curious. Yeah, you got to get in there and start using it, right? If you are an existing cloud user and you want to start seeing kind of how this stuff works, I highly recommend setting up a project in the database that's just like a test project. Maybe you can call it mobile test project, and start doing these things in the mobile app. Upload images. Tell your installers to start playing with it from the field, and then start running stuff in the desktop and see how it's coming through. We've got to get you guys in there and start using it to see how it's going to benefit you guys, what changes need to be made. If you guys don't use it and you don't start giving us some feedback, we're just going to keep doing what we feel is best. So we want to hear from you guys. Kelly's asking about service tickets, service agreements, etc. Any plan to add those? Not at this time. We have some big plans for service tickets in the near future. I don't want to say too much more about that, but there are going to be some changes in that area of the program. So stay tuned for that. Oh, good question, Turnkey. Will there be a different user pool for the field users? That's exactly what we're talking about right now. We're working through the logistics of it still. At this time, in order to access the app, you must have an active user license. So what we're recommending at this time is to, set up your supervisors, set up your lead installers, get people playing in it first. It's not going to happen overnight. Start to find out what works, what doesn't work, if they like it or they want to see a different. Talk as a second. I'm going to definitely relay this information. Scott asking about the punch list and daily progress ability to create a report we can share to the client. That is what I kind of mentioned about the progress pictures. So this here, uploading it as a gallery image or a progress image, it's automatically going to start to build those portfolios in which you can kind of, if you aren't familiar, you can take those. So we have something already existing in the database for what we call portfolio. It's a portfolio report. You can take that report and build it the way that you want it. Call it daily progress report, right? It's going to take some, playing with and using the app to build that out and see what you actually want on it. It might be a matter of unchecking and checking certain things that you want to show up on that daily report. And then it might take, additional development to get you guys what you really, really want. But this is kind of the start to it. This is how we kind of figured out how to start to get you guys there. So look into portfolios, start using those gallery images, and we can kind of take it from there. Robin, I did mention a configuration needed for the punch list action item. Is that in the help guide? It absolutely is. So that was the last question. So I'm going to go ahead and share back over here to wrap us up. Unless there are any other questions, keep those coming in. Anything comes up. If you are unfamiliar with how to access, I encourage you to encourage everyone in your dealership to access the help guide. We're doing this for you guys so that you can continue your education on e-manage, new trainings, just a resource to go look at for your learning curve. But more specifically, what we're asking about right now is the mobile app. So there is a section, how to access the help guide. From the e-manage desktop application in the top right corner, you'll see your help menu. Go to that and go to help. View the e-manage help file, and that'll get you here. If you haven't seen this yet, I talk about it all the time with everyone that I talk to. So hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing about it, but we really pride ourselves on this. We're trying to make sure that we keep up with it and keep it updated, but it's very much searchable. You can search up here, search for what you want to search for. So if it's the mobile app, start typing mobile, and it'll take you to that section. It is at the very bottom. If you're using the glossary over here on the left side, mobile app walks you through setup. So some of those punch list stuff. In order to happen, you've got to have an action item in the system called punch list with the space, with exactly this way. So we've hard coded some stuff into the system to make all this work. So it does need to be set up pretty specifically. If anybody has any issues with it, any trouble or questions, don't hesitate to reach out. But it is documented here in the help guide. So mobile app talks about setup, how to sign in, some of the different, topics that we talked about today. There might be some sections that still need some guidance. So we're working on getting that up to date as quickly as possible. But yeah, keep an eye on that section there. Otherwise, do I have any other questions coming in for the next 5 minutes or so to chat in any other additional questions that you guys might have? Otherwise, like I said, this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. You guys can trying to access the chat room to make sure there are no other questions. Last question that just came through about time frame for mobile time entry. As mentioned, it's I don't have an ETA at this time. If we're getting a lot of feedback, shoot me an email. If you did not chat in, shoot this webinar out to all of your users and start getting them in it and using it, a mobile app, and tell them to email me directly what they feel is priority. Right now, I feel like time entry is definitely one, and action items, someone chatted in about that. So give me that feedback. I'm going to relay that information. The more I get on it, the higher priority that's going to become, and it'll become the next project. So there's only some little bug fixes going on right now with the mobile app, little tiny things. So it could be the next project, Scott. Oh, sorry, was that external? I think that was for everybody. And then Eric, how do I request a resend of the stream? You can just shoot me an email directly or support@e-manageone.com. We all have access to your streams, your connection strings. So send us an email. My direct email is Stephanie@e-manageone.com. STEPHANIE. Yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll send it over to you. We wouldn't want to send it in this group because then everybody would have access to your database. So just some security reasons there, I can't shoot it to you right now. All right, I'm going to leave it open for the next couple of minutes if there are any other questions. Otherwise, somebody said I was cutting off during the explanation of a user license for field staff. At this time, the only way to gain access to the mobile app is being a cloud user and having an actual user license. So a sign-in, a user license set up. Stay tuned for more information there, though. We want to see you guys actually getting in there and using it, like as priority, giving us some feedback while we're working through the logistics of the licenses set up and pricing, where we actually talked about it in a team meeting today. So let me escalate that and see if I can't shoot out an additional email to get you guys some more information about what we're doing there. I can't say too much at this time. But yeah, as far as subcontractor portal and field licenses go, we're still working through the logistics of it. No problem, turnkey. Miss you guys. All right. My email is Stephanie@e-manageone.com. So reach out to me directly if you have any feedback, questions, comments, suggestions. This is all for you guys. We just want to help better support you. Like I said, we got some new dev team members working on hiring for support and training right now. So we're definitely gearing up to support you guys even better. So reach out to us. Otherwise, I will upload this to the YouTube channel and we will talk to you next time. Thanks, guys, for coming and have a great rest of your week.